Well,
Hey.
What is up? What is up? So I really want to give like a few minutes, just to like 1 or 2 minutes to see, kind of making sure that some of our people check in, because I also encourage our listeners and our followers tonight to really chime in, give us some comments over to the side. Hey, Esther. And really kind of give us, yeah, just chime in. Let us know what y'all think about these topics tonight that we're gonna be discussing. So, boss chicks, what's up? What's up with y'all? Y'all all looking all beautiful. What's going on?
I'm
Nothing
having a little
much.
breakout. I don't know.
Nicole, you muted.
Oh.
I said I'm hot.
How did Jace do?
He did good. He came in 6th overall so far.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
They had maybe like 15 heat. He got first in his heat, but overall he in 6th place.
That's
Hey,
it.
I know.
Still
That boy
advanced, right?
doing it, man.
Them kids got some
Both
weird.
of you.
So like these are children from all over
Over.
Florida.
Oh, wow. That's good.
It's funny because one of Claude's old college mates, he's here in town because his daughter runs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I remember. So I did Junior Olympics back when I was older than Jay, so I was probably 12, 13 at that time. But I remember traveling all over, and yeah, I think that I competed in California once, in Georgia once, and then did a lot in the North Carolina, South Carolina area, since I was on that side over there. But yeah, it's no joke out there. Y'all parents having to be out there and cheer them on and keep their spirits up so that they start crying down, like, want to keep going.
Oh
yeah. Oh, it's all week.
All week.
Oh, wow.
I tried to sign on. I can't. I think I got to sign up for a membership or something.
You make it. I might pull it up on YouTube and you can see his race because they're taping it.
Okay.
All right. Well, look. So we done gave it a couple minutes. We hope that everybody is on. For some reason now, the way I guess we come through this StreamYard, I'm not able to see. I have to ask Nice. It was a time I could see how many people were live with us, but I don't see that anymore. Do y'all see that anywhere?
No.
Now you're looking, but you can't see.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let me tell y'all, our viewers. I told the girls in a group chat that I was gonna be with my wine tonight because we're gonna be really talking about some conversation.
I did get it. Well, I did get it. I got it while he was playing the.
All right. So first off, let's start with the baby. So let me tell y'all, this is so funny because we were just talking about this backstage. How of all the people on this platform here, we knew was not gonna know what was going on with the baby or who the hell the baby was. Let's go meet Tawana.
I don't know how the hell she'll know the baby, but she know about WAP.
I don't know the baby.
That's right. She sure did, Nicole.
Apparently, the baby is not singing something that I can relate to.
You're right. You so right.
So jumping into it. So first off, for those watching that, if you don't know what's going on with the baby, here apparently not too long ago, he was performing at a concert, and upon his entry to the stage, these were some of the comments that he made. He said, if you didn't show up with HIV, AIDS, or any of those deadly diseases, put your lighters in the air. Then he said, ladies, now I'm using a little nicer word. If your poom poom smell like water, put a cell phone lighter up. I ain't understand if it smelled like water because I didn't know water had a smell. But maybe he's saying your poom poom clean. Is that what he's saying?
I don't know. I don't want to say what he means.
Okay. But one of the biggest things. There is no smell. Oh, so my husband just came here. He says it means there is no smell. Okay. See?
All right.
I was trying to figure that one out. Okay. Y'all see how Claude Green be So then the last part, which also really took it over the edge was he said, fellas, if you ain't sucking penis, that ain't what he said, but I'm being PG-13. In the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. Okay, so I want to get into this for a couple of reasons, as I told the ladies, not just about his comments, because I want to take it a little further, right? So obviously with all of this, he has been trending all over social media, radio, TV, you name it. He is the trending topic right now, to the point where like big name stars, not just him losing endorsements, which we'll get into, but big name stars have now come out and have used their platform to really, put a lot of backlash, a lot of commentary on his comments, and just really, really, really read him the riot act. So first question that I have for you all, just kind of based on it, the world that we live in, right? Which one is it the Second Amendment that we get freedom of speech? I ain't looked that up before this. Which one of them amendments is freedom? Fifth. Okay, that's it, Nicole. Fifth Amendment, right? Do y'all feel, forget particularly his comments, but just the fact that he's in front of what he considers to be his audience, people that support him, people that, buy his music, do you feel that he had the right to be able to say the things that he said? Just that part of it, not what he said, but just, do you feel he had the right to say whatever he wanted to say?
Yeah, the right. Yes, the right.
He has the right. Yes, he has the right. However, when you have the right. However, whatever consequences come with that, you have to accept that too.
Yeah,
what comes with it, right.
But if you just stop with, I have the right to say whatever I want to say.
Yes.
So then who gets to start determining? Look, my who y'all talking about? We're talking about the baby. You might have to go get my stepbrothers and sisters and your grandchildren as to tell you who the baby is. But so you just go with that. You have the right to say whatever you want to say. At what point do outsiders or other people or organizations or individuals get to choose and dictate what you say?
I mean, everybody. Well, I'm not gonna say dictate, but everybody gonna have an opinion or can have an opinion on what you say. I mean, that don't necessarily mean it's right. But your delivery could be, that. Of course, I know it rubbed a whole bunch of people the wrong way,
right?
Because they poom ain't smell like water.
Right.
Not only that, I think to me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it and when you say it. Because we all got the freedom of speech, but if you are using your voice to be a platform and you want to be sponsored by these other people's, then you have to be careful what you say and when you say it. So to me, yeah, you got the right to say what you want to say, but when you want my money, you're going to say it when and how it needs to be said, or I pull my money back.
Right. But then is that person, are you allowing that individual to be authentically themselves in a world where there's so much fake and phony and we all claim to be real, we all claim to be authentic? Are we then now not allowing these individuals to be that?
Even being yourself, what justification? I mean, what's the purpose of saying that?
Well, first all, you got to think about his platform, right? So he's a rapper and a hardcore, grimy, gritty, get in the trenches type of rapper. Okay, so you don't follow the baby. So because he don't cater to, that ain't the type of mindset, ain't the type of lifestyle you've ever lived, right? So he was saying this to his audience and to the people that support him and obviously know his lifestyle, where he came from, his mindset. Because just think about if you just listen to his lyrics. His lyrics ain't out here talking about, I'm trying to be a Fortune 5,000 company. This how you gonna make this money. That ain't his platform. So none of us would be all enthralled with his platform. But I'm speaking to the fact that he was talking to his platform and people that have been supporting him and paying for his music and his concerts for years now.
Right. I mean, it depends too. If he had sponsorships on that platform, yeah, they paying them. They can dictate what he's saying.
They can dictate.
They do that all
And
day. So
I
to
think
answer your question, all of them, none of them are being real and authentic when they're sponsored by these large companies. Because they pull stuff from them all the time.
Yeah, they hold the purse strings.
Yeah.
And
I think, and I want to say, as far as with dictating, like these large sponsors dictating, it's deeper than that, I feel, because they can feel the same way. However, they're this large company or whoever is supporting them. So if they don't pull him, they want to set an example because they don't want to lose other people. They don't want to lose that money.
It becomes a rippling, a domino effect.
Because they can actually feel like he feel. However, let's get on the bandwagon because I don't want to lose no money either just because he done went out there and said something and messed my money up. Right. So that is why they are doing it. I don't think they as much as dictating. It's all about, that's how I feel about capitalism.
So which then says there's not really any true artist creativity, creativeness that they are really allowed to do because there's still so much control when it comes to, at the end of the day, who has the money bag controls the world, right? Right.
And that's why some of these
artists ain't no
like
saying, but I just made that up. That sounds
right. But then a lot of times they're allowing them to be themselves when they're producing their songs, but just coming out, when you greeting your audience, with words like that. I mean, what benefit is that? I can see if it's in your song. Yeah, they're purchasing your song because the ones that don't like it don't even have to buy your music.
Right.
But you may have somebody that's in the audience that's trying to get into your, music. But when you come out, if your pee ain't clean or it ain't smelling like water, put your lighter up. Well, if mine smell like water, I'm still not putting my lighter up.
Right.
So it just don't make no sense to me,
So I got y'all riled up for a much bigger part of this. What I don't like about this, like I could care less about what he said, how he said it, and it don't necessarily have anything to do with two parts of what he said don't necessarily affect me as far as the HIV, AIDS, and all of that, or if you a man and you ain't sucking penis in the parking lot, like none of that has any direct reflection of me, right? Even the one about your poom poom smelling like water, like I told you, I was confused by what the hell that even meant. But what I really want to shine light on is when I watched how fast big name artists, Madonna, Elton John, like all of these, that first of all, they don't even listen to his music. Number one, I guarantee you, they don't follow him. They're not running in the same clique, nothing like that. What I did not like was these are the same artists that demoralize women, and in particularly women of color. They call us bitches, hoes, sluts. They over-sexualize us in videos. They trick us out in videos. They trick us out when it comes to music. And I want to know where the hell is the same type of support and pulling money and opportunities from these same individuals, and why aren't women, and in particularly women of color, a protected class? Because if you really look at the individuals that came out, used their platform, and what they said, a big part of it was to the homosexual community, the LGBTQ plus, and I hope I got that right. And I'm not trying to offend anybody at all. I'm just trying to be authentic with the fact that there has been so much backlash. This man has lost major endorsements. He's got people from around the world crucifying him, hanging him on the cross. But nobody is doing the same thing to these rappers with the way that they treat and victimize and portray us women.
because we are not standing together and we're not standing up for ourselves.
For real, because when you say something about that community, baby,
And
they
that
like,
whole
they like the
They
beehive,
will
baby.
light your
they
ass
come
up.
They will
out.
come for you.
Yes.
They don't play.
They will
They don't
light
play.
you
They
even
will,
to the
yes.
point where it's very small things. I got a girlfriend whose son is gay. And I didn't know it initially in the beginning. So just kind of, being around each other, shop talking or whatever. Never knew it until she was telling me about dating a guy and how she was, really had to lay into him because apparently he was starting to think that maybe his son was picking up some or had those tendencies. And he was doing everything possible to pretty much try to change his son's mind or whatever. And how strongly she felt about anybody that talked, about, men being gay, because she had it to the point where it almost made me uncomfortable. Like, okay, so I can't verbalize or say anything and not saying anything negative. I just had to feel like I had to be extremely careful about what I say, couldn't say, almost like I would have to, we'd be together or, and she might say something about somebody being gay. And it was almost like it was okay for her to say it because she was living in that space. But I dare not say anything or maybe how I felt about it or even give an opinion on it. Right. I just didn't feel like I had that. And so you're right, Nicole, like you can't say or do anything that comes across a certain way. But my thing is I hear you, Tawana, that it has to be us, and I get it, but it feels like that particular group has everybody in the world protecting them. And why aren't we getting the same protection? And you feel they have to start with us.
Because they have demanded their respect. They have demanded that protection. We don't. No. We don't. And that goes back to saying men only do what we allow them to do. Mm-hmm. So we as women allow them to degrade us. We as women allow them, to put us because we want to be part of the big show. We want to be on the stage. We allow that. If we stop allowing that and come together, we can make a difference as well.
Yeah. So that's a challenge. That's a challenge.
That's a big challenge.
That should. I know, but here's the thing. If obviously it's a system that has been able to be built and is proven by the LGBTQ plus community, that truth be told, their organization, not individuals per se being new to it, but their group being fairly new as far as years are concerned compared to African American or just women of color, period, being around since the beginning of time. Like, what do we need to do to be able to get the same type of response?
Well, I think the powerful women that have those type platforms. I mean, we can start with us right now. Ain't nobody really listening, but we got to make some noise.
Right.
Either start something where we can get the attention of some women that have a larger platform than us, and maybe partner with them on some campaigns or something. But it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And I think that was the biggest thing behind looking at all of that was I was not distracted by what exactly was going on with him. And I do, trust me, on a bigger scale, make sure everybody knows, I completely agree with what the ladies say on here, that when you start wanting people to support you and you need their money in order for you to do what you do, then yes, there are guidelines. There are, you keep that stuff to yourself and you say it at home, and then you don't say it around nobody that can ever repeat it. Or you say it to one person, so if it get out, you know where it came from. So I completely agree with that. I just wanted to really get the dialogue going, but more so I wanted us to dig into what I felt was a much bigger issue. And that is, why aren't we protected? And why are we just, I mean, like, and yes, anybody know me? I love a good trap song. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
I know, right? I know. Yeah.
I'm not, but I do think that there is limitations to some of the things and to some of the ways we are portrayed out there that should be off limits.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I'm not trying to take away their creativeness. I'm not trying to take away their voice, because I think that when you look at R&B and hip hop and rap as a whole, it is so diverse compared to other genres. Like gospel is just gospel, and like there ain't no branching off from that. I mean, not gospel, country music. Ain't no branching off. Everything sound the same. They twining and whining and all of that stuff. But with R&B, hip hop, jazz, rap, all of that, it allows them to be very creative and give us different types of content. So I'm fine with that. But I do think there should be some limitations where, I don't know if y'all used to watch like either BET or After Dark when they would only and it had to be after midnight, 1 o'clock. Ain't no telling what your ass saw.
Go see, yes.
It'd be almost.
But that's what sells. I mean, that's what sells.
But here's the thing. Could you take this? This will be something good to look at, right? Think about the next time you hear a song or you look at a video. Can that song and video have the same impact without maybe all the women half naked shaking their ass?
It can, because honestly, sometimes I could be riding in the car listening to some music, and it, the beat.
The beat,
the lyrics,
and the beat will give me. I know, right?
That's all I would say when the beat drop. But then half the time I don't be knowing what the lyrics are, so I might be jamming.
Yeah, that's a song. Yeah,
but the beat sounds good.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So it's possible. So even without the whole taking away again their message or their creativeness, when I look at certain videos, and certainly I've been looking at them now for the last few days a different way, just trying to get my thought process with this topic. And it was like, okay, what I'm really distracted by is all the half naked women. Or the way that men might be demoralizing the woman, whether they smacking them on their booty or
they on their
having them by or doing anything that does not portray us in the right light.
But
right?
Girls look like they be having a good ass time.
I know. So you say something really good. We know we're not gonna get everybody on board with this,
right?
You know, because not everybody, even in the LGBTQ plus community, they might not have even taken offense. Some people may not have even taken offense to that. So I'm not saying we're gonna get everybody, because you're right. Some of that's how them girls pay the tuition or pay their bills. So they might be like, y'all heifers better not take away.
They didn't work on no Megan knees.
So I get it, okay? But it's a conversation that I think is worth continuing, and I think it's also a conversation on even a bigger platform on how can we change that narrative. Because as powerful as I saw people come and affect this man in just a few days, it ain't been no weeks, it ain't been no months, it ain't been no years, few days, that he done now issued 3 different apologies. Like, he didn't get the first one right, I guess. So then there needed to be a second one. And then there's a third one.
He should have just stuck with the poom poom and the clean water.
But if I was at the concert and he said that, I would have been looking like, okay, so why are you saying it? Like,
put your lighters up.
That could put my cell phone light up, because I would have been like, so what?
I would have been looking at that like,
that's the song that's about to come on.
I would have been like, what that mean? I don't think my poom poom smell like water. Come on. I would have messed that up all. I'm gonna read a few comments, just make sure, because I'm so glad I'm seeing people kind of come in here. Tasha, good point. I think it's freedom of speech, but when you have diverse people supporting you, you have to rely on them. You need to be mindful. You're right. Shakita said, yes, it's the delivery. Tasha, his supportive people may or may not know his true opinion of this situation. Amber said, honestly, I think our own community battle against each other, whether they place us against each other or women voicing how men voice their opinion makes us seem masculine. Yeah, that's a good one. Look, your daughter talking about I'm logging out now. Yeah, because Amber, you were starting to lose me there for a minute. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So on to our next topic tonight. J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Okay.
Hey, more power to her.
So listen, this is the post that I read, which I thought was so funny, and which is why I wanted to put this on our conversation tonight. The post said, so me going back to my ex means I'm stupid, but J-Lo going back to Ben is couples goals.
That says a lot.
That says a lot. Like I go back to my ex, my girlfriend's gonna say, girl, your ass is stupid. But Ben and J-Lo being back is, oh my God, it's couples goals. Look at them.
Really?
Like, that whole Sierra, y'all remember when it was trending with Sierra talking about, girl, what was your prayer to get what's that boy?
I forgot his name.
Oh, Future.
Wilson.
Oh, Russell.
Russell.
Okay.
Right. So here's my thing. So really the topic is, what's y'all's thoughts on recycled relationships?
I only read one book over and over, and that's the Bible. If I close you, you are closed, baby.
Well, you know what?
I don't think anything's wrong with it.
Depends.
Yeah, it depends.
What happened during their relationship? Now, maybe for me, if it was something where it was some infidelity, that chapter probably would be stay closed. But if we just kind of grew apart, and then we went our separate ways, and then we may grow back. I don't know. So I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It just depends on the details of what happened.
So I'm with Tawana.
I don't really know what happened with J-Lo. Now, why did they split?
See, that's a good point, Nicole. Because I was just about to say, we as people, we say that our friends, they're like, somebody might say, oh, they're done because we know all their history. We know the information. See, when you know somebody.
Okay, but here's the thing, Keisha. So according to social media, because I did my research.
Okay.
Right? According to social media. So I took it all the way back. J-Lo and Ben Affleck met on a really B-rated movie called Giggly or Jiggly, whatever it was called, right?
Okay.
That's how they met. She was in a relationship. He had been in a relationship. They met on set. Chemistry started brewing, and then they cheated on their other people, and then they got together. Okay. So then fast forward, they in a relationship. Well, now Ben is on another movie where he meets his future wife, Jennifer Garner. Okay. So he met her on, I can't remember what it was called, but it was a superhero movie that they both was superheroes, whatever. They met there. Same situation happened. Okay. So they broke up and all of that. So that was the whole story. Kind of like she got a little bit of karma, if you ask me. That was delivered back.
I always get it.
Okay. So based on and that's a 30,000 foot level, because you're absolutely right, Keisha. We don't necessarily know what was going inside the house. But as far as social media was concerned, she kind of got a dose of her own medicine. He got, him and Jennifer got married. They had kids, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So my thing is I'm like Tawana. I have always had this mindset and I live by this motto: all eyes forward. Don't be looking in the rearview mirror, because they ain't nothing back there, right? So everybody that's been in my past, literally, they is buried. They like the Titanic. They is never, ever, 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 ever to be resurrected ever again. Okay.
Ever.
But on the other side, I can get where you're coming from, Nicole, that it depends on the situation. I also think it could depend on when we met, maybe we were teenagers, we grown now, okay, whatever. So I get all that. So let's take this because everybody in here obviously in a relationship, married, 3 of us. We gonna go and claim your Boaz, your relationship. I meet him a couple weeks ago, Keisha. Okay. If you were in a current relationship, is there anyone in your past that you would rekindle with? You ain't gotta say the name unless you're brave enough.
Hell to the no. To the no.
Who is it?
Oh, I said. Oh no.
I don't know. Let me see. Maybe. Because the person that I'm thinking of, it wasn't an exclusive type thing. So we weren't really like together. It was more so like I call you, you call me.
So in that, okay, so Tawana, because you're so adamant, no. Okay, but that's because
let's full of shit. No,
it's not that.
I'm trying to dig here.
They were lemons, and when you get a lemon, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Okay. And when you get a peach, you recognize a peach.
Look, that damn Jimmy must be sitting right beside her. Damn Jimmy sitting right beside you.
Full of baby shit.
Not baby shit. Okay, let's go a little deeper than this.
Come on.
Not necessarily anybody that you were in an actual relationship with. But what about somebody that y'all thought y'all could start it, you didn't start it, and you thinking like, oh, that might have been the one that I missed out on? No.
Tell Jimmy to go home.
so she can be real and authentic.
Yeah,
Right?
Actually, to be honest with you all, I'll be 52.
Right.
I've only had 4 boyfriends. And they all proposed. But
I had that many boyfriends either, but still.
No, but I mean, Jimmy and I was just talking about this on our way to work this morning, and I told him, I say, I know they missing out. I say, but you know what? The 3 prior to you, they all cheated for some reason. I know they drooling. They might as well quit drooling. One that died. So I mean.
Oh God, bless her soul, Lord have mercy.
One gone blind almost. One can't hardly walk. I mean,
yeah. Lord. Okay, I probably wouldn't go back either to one.
You said, Nicole, based on them options, I probably wouldn't go back.
You sure right. I take that peach any day.
So do you think it's ever too soon? So one of the things obviously about, this whole J-Lo thing is it to me, it looked like the damn ink won't even dry on her and A-Rod splitting up before her again. Do you feel that there's ever a too soon to get back, or whether it's get back with an ex or start a new relationship at all after ending?
It's like yes and no in a way. It's just it's like you can, because it depends on where that relation was, where she was, if she was already tapped out of it and just portrayed into
tapped out, or she was tapped into being
right. Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. She was tapping in, right? Exactly, Nicole. That's my thought.
She was tapping in.
Yeah, she tapped out from one and tapped into the other. Exactly.
And you know what? And some people they're afraid of being alone.
I heard that. That's what they said about Jennifer Lopez. Because you think about it, she's never been alone.
Mm-hmm. But if you look at, I say this, and I hate even put the word beautiful women, but it seems like a lot of these women tend to be very complex in the sense of, think about Janet Jackson can't seem to keep no damn relationship. I don't know what's going on with her either. Jennifer ain't seem to have no good track record. Halle Berry.
I was thinking the same thing. Now she's with a man. Oh, they done broke up?
I don't know they broke up, but she with somebody else now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you just kind of think about, I'm like, well,
you know what? It could be that industry they in. They move around. They don't be staying. It's hard to find like them Denzels and and he and his wife been together forever, and what's his name?
LL Cool
Samuel
J and
Jackson
LL
and
Cool
Yeah,
J and his
yeah.
wife.
them people, they move around in that industry.
Yeah.
They see some
New,
stuff, and they some new.
that new car smell.
So new car smell.
That new car smell.
It's crazy, but yeah, that money, I don't know. That's
But
circular.
okay, but so just everyday people. So my thoughts on it is when I was younger, and it's crazy, obviously, as you mature and get older. When I was younger, I would have certainly looked at this with the lens of, oh my gosh, she is just moving too fast. I think Amber said it: self-love, self-healing first. That's because Amber is very young. Okay. My thought is when you get to our age,
You don't
and
have time to
Keisha,
wait.
you can attest to the very little quantity and quality of men that's out there. Do you now still have that mindset when you in your 40s, 50s, 60s
I
talking
don't.
about, oh, I'm gonna give myself 5 years to go through some self-healing and some self-love, and then I'm gonna go try to find me another man? You don't have
I
time for that.
don't. I didn't.
No.
I did. But at the
No.
same, you're right, because I've been divorced 5 years, and I did jump right into a relationship after that, which I wasn't healed. But in a way, I'm glad I did, because after that, that's when I started healing myself, and in the process, still met someone, and it's just a year later or so. But still, who's to say whatever time? But I don't think I have no time.
Don't
Yeah.
wait.
No.
No,
Don't
I'm
wait.
not. I'm living life. I'm like, I only have
By the
one life
pool.
to
Don't
live.
wait.
I'm at
You
this.
better
I'm at.
trot and don't wait, or you gonna end up with Uncle Billy. I'm telling you, and that's not what you
Stop
want.
it, Nicole.
That is not what you want.
No, I don't.
Keisha does not listen to Nicole.
She
No,
no.
I'm not listening to Nicole. I ain't listening to Nicole.
She
I
is only she is only the hype man. Do not
yes, yes.
What you talking
I
about?
love Nicole. Whoever makes me happy, who checks those, a lot of those buckets that are, are good. Yeah.
Okay.
Why not, man?
So we got some comments. Most people said nope, they are not going back to any exes. Candace talking about Tawana is hilarious. She is, ain't she, Candace? And then your daughter gonna talk about I'm gonna answer for her. Hell no, talking about you can't go back to no exes. Oh my goodness. LaSheryl talking about I'm gonna be quiet on the Hollywood relationships. No, LaSheryl, you gonna hit us
Right? Please tell us
about these Hollywood relationships. Look, Aaron Pola, you such the baby, Aaron. Every time I sis, I'm knocking on 30. I have a young king I'm trying to raise. My spirit is aged. LOL. Girl,
Oh,
hush your mouth. I know that's Candace said, no time to wait. You better multitask, date, and heal simultaneously. That is some good advice, Candace. Some good advice.
Yep.
Multitask.
Yep.
All right, so let's move to something. I wanted to start where we were all lighthearted, laughing or whatever, but I also wanted to kind of talk and end the show with two other kind of important and serious conversations, but still newsworthy and topic discussion worthy. Simone Biles. So when I put the post out there, one of our followers actually said, having a conversation about, and what she specifically said was, did she do what was best for her, or did she abandon her teammates? So let's just start with that. Let's unpack that. What do y'all think about that?
She did what was best for her. And I'm glad she recognized it. That's the biggest thing. She recognized it and enforced herself. And so she knows what she needs to do for herself. Because if she doesn't take care of herself, I mean, she's no good. Exactly.
So are y'all in agreement on that?
I am.
I think so.
I'm gonna play devil's
advocate, huh?
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna poke some holes in this just to keep this conversation going. So, where does the responsibility also come into her for taking on the role and being in one of the most competitive fields and professions that are out there, not just the industry, but also the platform that she's on. So she was just, you know, a gymnast and a team leader for her high school or her college, something like that. That's not a big platform. She's been training for years. She mentally, conditioning wise, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of that. And she took on the responsibility of being in the limelight, wanting to be on this not national, international platform and stage. She's out here endorsing, she's out here promoting, she's earning money from this profession.
Yes,
She is rooting and building up her teammates. She's got them believing we can win the gold in Tokyo. She's doing all of this. And then she pulls out and leaves her team hanging. So my concern about this is, sis, you didn't know you were dealing with some mental stuff before? Like when you were doing your tryouts and you were doing your practices and you were doing all this other stuff. The only thing that changed was now you will get ready to be on an international level, which is not, here's my point about her. This is not her first time around.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So this isn't your first time Olympian that thought they knew what it was going to be and then got there and, oh, hell, shit got real. I can't take it. Let me leave. This is somebody that has been there before, knows what comes along with it, and decided now in the middle that I ain't feeling right, my mind ain't right, my spirit ain't right, and deuces. I'm out. Y'all handle this.
Well, first of all, this is not her first time carrying the weight of the team.
Right.
She've done this once before.
Right.
I commend her for making that decision. Okay, take for us as an example. Deanna, the Boss Chicks of Houston was your platform, and you chose us to be a part of that. What if we take this international and then you worked us up, you got us all pumped up, we can do this. If we go somewhere and one morning you wake up and say, I cannot do this, because you don't know what's going to happen to you that morning. If mental illness, we as a team support you. If you pull back, and we are truly a team, the three of us should be able to carry this on when you can't. So yes, I commend her for pulling out. You know, I don't think she had the intention of doing all this work, putting all this work into it, and then get there and say, okay, I can't do it. Something had to happen. You don't know when mental illness is going to take control over you. She didn't know. But I commend her for recognizing it and pulling out. Some team members, if they have worked, come on, can only do so much.
Right.
If they want that goal, they work hard enough for it, they'll get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Serious though.
I mean, it is something serious because I can speak for myself. Just relationships with family members and how I'm always giving. I got to the point, you know, just exhausted. And then when I didn't give, it's just like, wait, what? Like I woke something up. Like, that's not you. Why? Because it's like, I was tired. I'm drained. I'm done. And I've reached that level to where I'm on the other side. Like, it's about this. And it just feels so great and liberating. And I like Simone Biles for her to I love the fact that she did that, because even though she may have, we don't know what she had on her shoulders going there and what she has put herself in accepting and not speaking out. And so guess what? She got an international platform to talk about mental health. So that's how that's just, I thought that was huge.
So then taking it, let's talk about it, not even on an international platform. Mental health in regards to any work profession that you choose to go into. So thinking about, again, the reason why I kind of went that way was because I know that there's other people out there that also feel that way. And as I said before, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Doesn't necessarily mean I agree with what I just said.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
getting this conversation going.
Right.
I definitely agree with y'all in regards to her speaking up, regardless of when the timing was, because at the end of the day, she has to take care of herself. Nobody else is going to take care of her. Not her mama, her daddy, her coaches, her endorsers, her teammates. Nobody is going to protect her. And as you all know, I deal firsthand with mental issues, a mental illness when it comes to my mother. And I saw that, and she won't on no international platform. She was just trying to deal with just the day-to-day stuff that us women go through. Single motherhood, working multiple jobs, all of that, the things, taking care of a household, also trying to have a relationship, you know, all of those things that come along with it. And she did not tap out. She was forced to tap out years and years later. And I saw how it took 10, 15 years of the effects of that. And I'm so conscientious now. It's been 10 years now, me saying stuff like, look, I know this runs in my DNA. Like at some point, if I keep working the way that I'm working or do the things that I do the way my mom do, there's a sense of scaredness in me that I try to make sure I recognize that I don't have that mental, you know, breakdown or whatever. So I definitely agree with the fact that she said today is the day, and the day is I can't do this for anybody else. It's for me. But I also want to just kind of also just discuss from a professional standpoint, right? Is there room to also have people be mindful of the professions that you go into that can possibly bring on those types of stress levels, mental illness, or mental impact that obviously are way higher in certain professions than they are in others? And whose responsibility at that point? It's like you couldn't pay me to go be no police officer. Why? Because I know that what comes along with that particular profession, no matter how strong I think I am mentally, I don't think I'm strong enough to deal with knowing every day that I walk out this house, my life might be in jeopardy. So I consciously knew making a decision. There's some professions I ain't going into, no matter how I want to say I'm a boss to it. You ain't paying me to go there, right? So I just also want to, because what we also may be showing, and we talk about this with the different generations, right? We talk about our parents' generation, how they were survivors. They had to deal, their parents had to deal with some cruel and unusual punishment types of things in their work environment. And then the next generation came. They were still dealing with some stuff. Change was a little bit starting to happen. Our generation. But when you even think about the generation of our kids and what their kids are going to come, are we also kind of setting a tone of, you know, where if it going to get too tough, you just go ahead and quit and forget everybody else? Like that, should there be some responsibility on us as individuals to also be mindful of the professions that we go into?
I mean, yeah, I think so at some point. And not that this putting out there maybe that when the going gets tough, you quit, but maybe be able to recognize and maybe slow down. Maybe you can either take some time off, take a mental health day, or go seek help before it gets, because mental illness, for some of them, certain triggers can bring stuff on. So it may be if somebody goes into like a depression or a deep depression, I mean, that can bring on schizophrenia or something like that if it's not treated. So I think people should be mindful, especially with high stress jobs. But I mean, I think they should be able to, you know, talk it out with their supervisor or somebody and be like, hey, I can't take on this project for XYZ. I may need something that's not as intense or as complicated, you know, something like that. But I don't think stopping or quitting should be the answer. But you know, being able to recognize it and then say, hey, I can't do this, but maybe I can help you, you know, do this. So
and you know, that's a good segue into what you're saying, especially with you two having a number of employees, right? So let's talk about that, because I remember when I was in
corporate, my nose get flared up. What you say?
I said with you two being, you know, having employees, let's talk about that, because I know when I was in corporate America, and my mindset and what I was conditioned in corporate America was, look, girl, if you want to keep climbing this ladder, here's all the additional responsibilities that are going to come to you, and you either going to need to accept it or don't and get passed over. But there was none of that, what you just said, Nicole. I was never in a position where I could feel that I could go to HR or my manager and say, that project you giving me right now, if you ain't giving me no more help on it, I can't do it. But please also don't look at it like I'm not skilled at my job, or I don't want that. You couldn't have that type of conversation at all.
Yeah.
So you just kept pushing through, going home, working 12, 15 hours, giving up vacation, coming in, working, you sick as a damn dog. You still working weekends. Like, there was none of that. So with you two feeling passionate about that, just like, how do y'all handle that with it? Because I know for me, employees used to kind of be talking about they need a mental day off. I'd be like, you better take your ass.
Well, for me, I even to my staff, I even recommend it. I have breakout meetings. I try to see where they are. Even when I walk through and try to see them, if when I greet them, if they don't sound right, I'll go in and I talk to my staff, because we work with special needs children and adults, and no day is ever the same day. And when you wake up in the morning, you definitely do not know what that day is going to be like, because you're working with someone with mental illness, and then you got staff. We're already short staffed, so you got staff. I got staff working 80 hours, 100 plus hours overtime. I bring my staff in and I tell my staff, hey, I know we're short staffed. We've always been short staffed, but you got to take care of yourself. All money is not good money, because you have to realize you have a family as well. And so when you work like that, you bring your immune system down. You don't do but make yourself sicker. So I encourage myself to take a mental health day, because even for myself, when I feel like I want to tap out, I taps out. And I walks out, I'm gone. And I tell my staff, I've had enough. I'm gone for the day. You may see me tomorrow. You may see me next week. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's also one of the benefits of being the owner too. Like, tomorrow,
I even encourage, when I go in with my staff, if I see they having a bad day, and a lot, because like I tell people, outside of this job, these people have family, they have lives, and they dealing with things. I encourage my staff to take off. I go and tell them, hey, you can go home. It's okay. You can leave. It's okay. I mean, because the company is not going to shut down because a person leaves that day. So I encourage that. And I didn't have that encouragement when I worked for somebody else. They worked the hell out of me. And the more I gave them, the more they wanted. And so that's why I walked away, so I could be able to open the company to give my staff what wasn't given to me.
My staff, not mine. They work overtime. We're short staff too, but they don't want to take off. They like their money. They like
they don't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at least you can offer it to them. You give them an opportunity.
I do offer
whether they want it, whether they accept it or not, you still have to offer it to them, because we didn't have that.
Well, at the end of the day, what I really feel employers, companies don't realize is that they're shorting themselves actually in productivity and money when they do overwork their employees, when they stretch them too thin, when they are short staffed, when they're pulling from here and to put over here. Whereas, and I think even when we go into the whole COVID discussion, what we've learned over the last year with COVID, right, from an employer standpoint, is there has to be some type of work-life balance. And that when people feel at ease mentally, their productivity, I truly believe, increases tremendously.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And when you show your staff that you care about them, your staff will always cover you.
Right.
That's just like when we have luncheons, and we have a big luncheon, it's heavy and stuff. After it's over, I don't care if it's at 12 o'clock. I tell my staff, you all might as well go home, because I'm not going to get anything out of you all today. You're not going to be productive. I'm not going to watch you go to sleep on my clock. You might as well go home.
You are awesome, Tawana.
And they love that, but they come back the next day and they grind. And my staff tells me, Twana, we work harder when you're not here than we do when you here. So we got you when you're not here. So that's why I just stay gone, because I feel like I get
You are so awesome, Tawana.
What you say, Nicole? She's so awesome.
A round of applause, right?
Nicole, so
I ain't gonna say nothing. You
but I take care of them because they take care of me.
You sure right.
all right,
phone, you know,
I know.
phone doesn't ring. My phone doesn't ring.
ring. That's good. What were you gonna say?
I'm still in the corporate world, so the company I'm with, they actually have recognized that. They even changed our benefits to cater towards mental health and behavior, and to have they did. They just changed it August 1st. We got some great benefits. I was like, oh, okay. So they are encouraging, and we haven't been going back to the office, and we work from home. So they haven't even said anything about that. So it's like, wow. I mean, even though we're a smaller company, not small, but medium-sized company, but sometimes some large companies, I used to work for a large company, they didn't care. Like you said, they didn't care at all.
And we've got one of our supporters, Candace Fobb. Candace actually owns her own HR firm, and she deals with large corporations. Candace, Candace, I actually want you to comment on this, because I know back in the day, again, when I was in corporate America, and this shame and the stigma that came along with, if you needed to go in and have a conversation with your supervisor and say, look, I'm just overwhelmed between my personal life, my professional life. I feel like the walls are caving in on me. I know I never felt comfortable enough to do that, even when I had the HR manager say this was going to be confidential, because in my mind, you were still putting this in my file, which meant any of my supervisors, anybody that had access to my file could read it. So I would never take them up on the whole confidentiality piece of it. And, it ain't going to affect, any future raises or opportunities. I never believed that. Yeah. So Candace, I'm curious, especially because Candace writes HR policies for companies. She manages big CEOs of companies and having them kind of have their own mental program in place. Candace, can you chime in on that? Like, how can we make people that are in the corporate world now really feel comfortable and believe what their companies are telling them if they need to go have that tough conversation? And while she's doing that, what she said? Let's see. Okay, she said they don't need to know why the person needs off. They need off because I said so.
Oh, because she's
okay. And then you've got they call me, and then I go and manage. I go to the manager to advocate on their behalf. That's good, having somebody else that's on your team and not just on the corporate team. She says we provide employee assistance program. It's just about advocacy. Okay.
And then you know what? I think a lot of people are embarrassed to admit that they suffer from some type of mental illness. On any given day, we all do, if we want to truly be honest. And like I tell people, if you have something going on with your heart, you go see a cardiologist.
Right.
If you got something going on with your foot, you go see a podiatrist. If you got something going on with your mind, you go see a psychiatrist. So I mean, it's life. It's life.
And when you think about it, it's the thing that controls everything.
Yes.
Right. They talk about sickness a lot of times comes to us because of what starts up here. Whatever's not going on, and stress being one of the number one killers or the number one reason. Because when we're stressed, for some people, we either overeat or we don't eat. So now your body going into all kind of different shock levels, don't know how to perform, so there's so much to that, but you absolutely make a good point. Why we don't feel that this is the one major organ that needs to be protected continuously.
And then, a lot of this stuff is hereditary. And so if your parents didn't really know or was in denial about it, or really just didn't know what they were going through, they couldn't tell you. So you don't know what you're going through, to know that this is part of your DNA. And then with getting older, don't make it any better. But hell, I'm about to sit on somebody's couch myself.
I know that's right.
No, that's so true. And I
And
had to, just doing it, take care of myself mentally. But I kind of wish that, my family would have done it and sat down and then learning my parents' past stuff I didn't even know, the reason why they acted the way, and I was like, wow, some stuff that was just heart wrenching about my dad that I found out. So it's just like, wow, I gotta stop this,
Yeah.
And then
And we need
I
to
just
be
have to
better
stop
when it
it.
comes to our kids. Like the fact that, and I agree with you, Tawana. Like, look, when you find a good therapist, give me the referral, because I
have one.
I want to go get on somebody's couch and talk it out with everything that's in my head. But more importantly, just doing right by our kids and not letting them have this puzzle and it's missing all kinds of pieces, because that's where we came from. We came from a generation where it wasn't talked about, wasn't discussed. You better not bring it up. And if anything was going on in the house, you better keep it in the darn house. You're going to get ass whooping. Like, there was punishment that came along with you feeling like you should be able to talk and express or ask people, is this normal? Should I be living like this in my household? Should my parents be acting?
She said that's too. My counselor said, "Oh my God, that is too much weight on your shoulder as a child, Keisha."
And a prime example. My daughter worked for me, and so I would give her things and put things on her desk, and it would just sit there, and I was like, "Damn, is she ever gonna do it? When is she gonna do the work?" But actually, Amber realized it herself, and she came in and she talked to me, and Amber went to see a psychiatrist, and she was actually suffering from ADD, and she had a hard time with multitasking. And so, once she started going getting her treatment, when she's right. Amber was straightened up everything got a label to it, everything is stacked well.
Go, Amber.
We didn't realize this until after Amber was grown. And so what I told Amber is, baby, I don't ever want you to feel like you have to deal with this or address this by yourself. I don't want them to just put medications on you. If you're going to therapy, bring me in with you so I can be educated, so I can support you to be the best you that you are. And so, a lot of times kids or we don't have that. Myself, a lot of my family members depend on me and come to me for advice and different things. And sometimes I take on so much, it gets to the point, when can I release this to somebody else? When can I release this on somebody else? And actually, I didn't even realize how much I had taken in. And so one of my cousins visited me a couple of months ago, and she said, "I'm so glad you got some friends that you can go."
What?
She said, "I'm so glad you got some friends, Twana, where you can go and you can laugh and you can express yourself and you can release." So I didn't even realize I didn't really have no friends.
Wow.
I said, "I've always had friends."
You thought you always had friends.
But when you're taking on so much, it is hard, because if you're absorbing everything, when do you get a chance to release? And sometimes, to me, it get overbearing. I think that Aruba trip, the best trip, baby, when I released it in that water, I have not been the same.
You ain't been the same. No. But
I have released it.
That's good.
If it don't involve me, don't tell me. I really don't care to know.
I want to know. I know that's right. I know that's right, Twan. Look, I know we over, but if people want to stay on, I do want us to just talk about this next. This has been so good. This has actually been really, really one of my favorite, because it allows us to really talk, be free, be authentic, express ourselves. And more importantly, what this platform was also about was to share our story and also be very authentic to women and let them know you're not the only ones out there. Even when you see a woman that looks like she got all her shit together, trust and know there's some stuff that came along with it for that sister to look like that. Right? There's some stuff that come along with it. So on the last one I wanted to talk about, because it is a trending topic, is COVID. So first off, I wanted to get y'all's feedback on how do y'all feel overall about it compared to now and compared to last year? Like, what's y'all's thoughts on COVID?
It COVID need to go to hell home.
Right.
Or leave Houston.
Leave Houston.
I don't
Yeah.
know, it seemed like we just kind of woke up one day and there was COVID. Like, I don't even remember hearing no warnings about it, or it was coming. It'll be here next season. I ain't hear none of that.
None of that.
Gotta woke up in the COVID.
Like, at least with the flu, you can prepare. You know when flu season coming. You know when hurricane season for Texas is coming.
Right.
You know when the damn heat wave for Houston is coming. You're right. We didn't know it with COVID.
COVID kind of.
Well, I think somebody knew it and they didn't share it. They just didn't share it. 'Cause look, I recall maybe like the first part of February, one of my staff came in here and she said, Miss Wilson, let's start preparing ourselves. She said, we're getting ready to go into a pandemic. I said, girl, we ain't going no damn pandemic. A pandemic with what? For what? She said, I got a telephone call and the person, my source, I won't reveal, said, we're going into a pandemic. So we might as well go on and start preparing. And I be damned. In March, COVID hit.
So let me ask the other two ladies on this platform. Why the hell did y'all get this phone call from Tawana telling us that we were going to be hit?
No, I didn't call anybody because when you hear stuff, I don't want to scare nobody else because I didn't know how sincere this was, or I really didn't think that out.
If you get some information like that, this is what I'm gonna need for you to do. I'm gonna need for you to go to the prayer room, and I'm gonna need for you to let it hit your spirit, and then I'm gonna need for you to call us. I went to the prayer room and I covered y'all. I covered you out.
In the morning, like in the morning, you send us that prayer. I'm gonna need you to put in bold, in parentheses, a secret pandemic hit.
I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know the seriousness of it. I really, when she said it, I really didn't take her serious. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, Miss Wilson, I'm serious. I say, girl, ain't nobody heard that. I said, there's probably somebody that's putting something out there.
You say it's fake news. It was fake news.
And so when it hit, it hit.
Beginning until it affected my family. And then I was like, oh, hold up, wait.
It's real.
It's real.
Like real.
So a hand raised. Who's vaccinated?
Keisha's
not vaccinated. Okay. Why aren't you vaccinated?
I'd rather keep it to myself. I do. I really do.
Okay. I can
yes. Yes.
Okay. So as business owners, right? Are y'all requiring your employees to get vaccinated? If yes, what was the response of your staff? And if no, why aren't you making it mandatory like companies like Google and Facebook?
Because we'll be in the group home working.
We are not even that.
Wait a minute, Nicole. So obviously you're not mandating it. And you feel if you did, you probably have some people that would leave their job and not get vaccinated.
Especially the demographic of people that we hire. It's an hourly job. They ain't making a whole lot of money. Yeah, they'll leave.
Okay.
And I just told you we already short staffed.
we like midget short.
You know what I tell them? You ain't got to be vaccinated, but can you just go get tested every other month and then just bring me the test back? Let me know you okay.
Okay.
And so, if someone run a fever or someone sneezing or give me some flu-like symptoms in the house, I automatically say, hey, I need for you all to be tested and give me the results. And they do that. So, but other than that, no, I can't make these people mandatory right now.
But we gave them free resources for vaccinations.
So here's the thing. So Candace said, no, it's their choice, not mandatory. However, we are offering free vaccines. So that's good. So that's your current employees, right? So what about making it part of the job requirement when you hire new employees. The same. Wait a minute, Tawana. The same way, because I see you. You about to jump out your seat. Hold on a second. Let me get it out my mouth. Listen to me. Making it mandatory the same way you make background checks, credit checks, drug tests. Why can't a COVID vaccination also be part of new job requirements? And it come down to this. You either want this job and this is all that come along with it, or you don't want this job. It's no different than somebody know they ain't gonna pass that drug test, so they just say, "Oh, I ain't no need for me."
Just give me, Deanna, just give me a COVID test.
No. Just
give me a COVID test.
We when we hire, we tell them to bring in a COVID test before they start working.
A COVID test will suffice.
The people ain't about to go get no vaccination.
Okay. But I ain't gonna go into no details because you know there's certain stuff with the boss chicks that we keep to ourselves, right? But let me say this. How true are them damn COVID tests?
Test you on the spot. I got tests here. I can test you myself.
Yeah, I got some. Oh, I got some tests, but I hadn't been.
We got some tests.
Okay, I'm just saying. You know, I'm just saying.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Okay, so how
your man?
So how true is that? I mean, the medicine and the vaccination.
So let me say this. I saw a TikTok, right? And I know it's TikTok, but the guy he works in the ER and he made perfect sense. This is what he said. And I don't know verbatim, but the gist of it was about why you should get vaccinated. He said, you wearing a seatbelt does not guarantee that you will not get in a car accident and lose your life.
Right.
He also said, let me see what was he used seatbelt. He used like two different analogies about why we pay for insurance, health insurance. And even if it's just in case, even if we never have to use it, doesn't mean you're never going to be able to use it. But the things that he used was right in correlation with that you getting the vaccine is really more so about that you do not hopefully get it, and more so you're protecting other people around you.
Right.
Correct. So, all that analogy that you use is not injecting something into your body.
No, but so this is an analogy I heard. He used basketball, for instance. So he's like, you have two teams. One team, is beating up the block. They always winning. And you figure out the best player. They may like to go to the right side of the court. So you put your player to deter them so they won't be able to go to the right side of the court. They may be always beating you by 50 points. But since you got your man guarding this other side, they may beat you by 3 points. So he said the COVID test is basically, is not preventing you from getting the disease, but you may only get beat by 2 points.
Now that's
right. Right.
So hold on, Keisha. And not to cut you off, but our producer said that we are actually over and he got to go to his next show. But you see, this has been good. This has been a really, really, really good show.
Very nice.
I know, right? I told him, I said, we cutting it off now. Okay, we'll go back. We'll read through our comments. We'll comment. We would definitely want y'all feedback. I hate it. I know we're not. Tawana, can you do a real quick prayer for us? Like real quick. For us.
Our heavenly gracious Father, Lord, we thank you. We thank you for this day, Lord, a day that we've never seen and we'll never see again. Lord, we thank you for your grace and your mercy that you continue to cover us for the ones that are vaccinated and for the ones that are not. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. That was a good one. All right, nice.